We do this call every Thursday. We do our best to make it at 12 p.m. EST, 9 a.m. PST, but sometimes things change. So, Vinny, welcome back, brother. How's everything going
Thank
on
you,
your end?
sir. Thank you.
I
Thank
know
you,
you bought a
Gualter.
hotel in Columbus a few months ago, and you're actually going to be coming out to Ohio to visit. When is that next trip?
Yes. Yes, next trip is next week, actually, Thursday. And some of my investors, very top-notch investors, are coming to watch the renovations being done, $25 million worth. That's a lot of renovation. We are just stripping apart the whole hotel and then building it brand new Marriott full service hotel. We are very proud of this thing. We'll be opening up in December this year. So the renovations have been going full-fledged every day in different floors of the hotel and all that. Yeah.
Ties into the principle we're talking about today: accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. You just described to me right before this call how this was a building that had 190 or 195 units or 195 doors, but you're
Mhm.
making a shift. You accept you okay, I can't change the fact that exists today,
Yes.
but you can actually make you took the square footage and you turned it into is almost 225 keys.
230 keys
230.
because these were like a Hilton double suites hotel, big suites, huge suites. So we will keep many of the suites, but take two floors and change them into individual rooms. So we'll open up, in December as 230 suites and rooms hotel, full
So this
Marriott.
is this is a perfect example of taking like accepting what can't be changed and then creating an advantage with it. You've pumped out, it sounds like you're going to pump out an extra 35 doors in a building that you've already paid for. You think you're paid 11 million or somewhere around 11 million for
Yeah,
it, and you're going to go
yeah.
put in 25 million. What do you think this is worth at the end?
Oh my gosh, actually, we are estimating very low at 8% cap rate, which is brand new luxury hotel. People are telling us you're crazy. It's going to be
In a
seven
Columbus market where
in the
things sell for
Columbus
better than
market.
8% caps, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. So we are looking at exit at about 70 million. 70 million. We bought for, low price. We're putting money into it. So in 3 years, again, we are not, giving any advice to anybody. You have to talk to me and see if you're accredited investors and all. We are not offering any securities,
Yeah,
but it'll be a
time to throw a
very big
disclaimer out. This
payoff.
is not financial advice. This is for educational
No.
purposes only, entertainment purposes only. We're not telling you what to do, but
Yes.
this is a
Yes.
case study, right? We're talking about a
Hmm.
property that Vinny does own. And Vinny, you operate out of a 506C. So that means
See.
anybody who's listening,
Yes.
if you're not an
Yeah.
accredited investor, this offering
Right.
would never be for you in the first place. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not never today, but maybe one day in the future you get to
Yes.
accredit as
Yes.
investor. So
Totally. Totally.
the hotel you bought for around 11 million, you didn't like the amount of doors it had, but you knew it could be changed. So you
Hmm.
accepted the building the way it was, but when you went to go do the renovations, it was like a big change, right? Two entire floors, pumping out 35 extra doors. That's
Yes.
millions of dollars, a
Totally.
multi-million dollar decision. And
Yeah.
what made you decide this is worth creating an advantage? This will actually create an advantage for us and give us a better opportunity in
You
such a
know,
hot market like Columbus.
I'm so glad you're talking about that because we also found out in this hotel we had 1,000 locker rooms because there is a Huntington Center next to it, 1 million square foot of office space, which is fully occupied. And people from there, the employees, were using our facility, for exercise and very nice gym and everything. But we felt like that's too many. So we cut it in half and we are building the meeting rooms in those spaces. So that's another money maker. So the key thing is to look at every opportunity and find solutions. Find solutions. I was just thinking about another instance I had, like there in Knoxville, Tennessee, for example. We bought the apartment complex, 107 units. It was fully renovated, everything, the seller when we bought it, but the rents were low. Now, the key thing was, what do we do with it? Because the interest rates changed. Wow. And it just happened yesterday, by the way. Our interest rates are not going to go down. They might even go up. So similar situation happened with me, like in 2022, I think is the time when I bought the this apartment complex. I could have griped about it. I could have done everything about it. But then we said, what it is what it is. You've got to really face the situation. And I got started in refinancing the loan. Our mortgage actually had gone from 28,000 a month for this apartment complex to 45 to 65. I mean, the rate, because it was a what you call a variable rate, which I totally don't like it, but it happened to be like that. But then I was so happy that we were able to refinance at a lower rate, fixed rate, and then we were able to exit. So the key thing is whenever there is a big wall, I always say there is a window somewhere. You got to find the
Look for
window.
the window. Look for the spot with no studs. You can cut it out. So, talking about rates, rates have been a great opportunity for us. So,
Yeah.
rates shifting, and this is something I share very rarely. I don't talk about it enough, Vinny, but I do better as an investor in a high interest rate market than I do in a low interest rate market because of the,
Mhm.
and I think we all do. If you think
Yeah.
about it this way, the higher the interest rates, the lower the prices.
Yeah.
So that price in like deflation comes in because
Mhm.
the interest rates are high. It
Yes.
helps on a purchase, right? Now, if rates
Mhm.
go up on an acquisition, that becomes, that creates pressure. But
Yeah.
in a low interest market, it creates more opportunity for rates to go up on you later. In a high
Mhm.
interest market, the odds are better in your favor that you're going to get this at a lower price because of the higher interest rates and the purchase costs. But
Mhm.
the odds are those rates one day will come down. Now, I don't know
Yeah.
if rates will ever come down from where they are. But historically, this is not a normal place for rates. We have seen them for the last 40 years to be significantly lower.
Lower.
So
Yeah.
there's a chance that that actually plays out in our favor for anybody who's doing the purchases today. Going back to what you were saying earlier about the lockers, right? That could have been a problem, right? That's a challenge. These guys are coming in. We're not making any extra revenue on these lockers. They're coming in, they're using this. But what's cool, because you switched this flag, if for anybody who doesn't know what that is, Hilton going to Marriott, that's a flag change. You switch the flag. That means you built meeting rooms, but in Marriott, you get something cool called a war room. Now, I have gone to Marriott war rooms and thought, I want one of these in my house. This is the coolest setup for business. It's wide open, it's got the chairs, it's got the tables, and it's really designed for entrepreneurs to sit there with a team or by yourself and just feel like, okay, like we're doing business today, like things are getting done. Uh,
Yes.
well, yeah, I love the war rooms. So you turned lockers into
War
meeting rooms,
rooms.
which
Yeah.
is a fantastic shift. Uh, there's something in this principle, accepting what can't be changed. It is
Mhm.
it is not saying nothing can be changed. It's just accept what can't be changed. Like I can't change the fact that this isn't being used right now. I cannot change that. Right now, this
What's the
is not the
best
best use.
use? The best use, exactly, brother. I mean, every opportunity, every what we call a dark cloud on silver lining, we call it, right? So you got to put yourself in a position to say, what could we do to utilize whatever we are given on our plate? And
Exactly.
that's the thing. If we can control the controllables, then a lot of things start to evolve, and then the things happen for a good very reason. If we get stuck in the situation, in the problem, and we are always looking at why, all the negativism, it doesn't give us openings to come out of it
It
and
just
come
gives you
out
more
even.
reasons to stay there, right? So you got to
Yeah.
focus on those solutions.
Yes.
I had good news come to me 2 days ago. We had an appraisal that was going to go out, and my banker called me and he said, Walter, don't let the appraiser go. He said, I'm going to get you the money back for that. I got another bank that's going to save you 2% on the interest rate.
Ooh,
And they don't
wow.
charge points at the closing. This is a unique bank. So he said it's going to save you $60,000 up front and then $60,000 every single year. He said
Mm.
it's okay with you. Like if it's okay with you, we're going to
Yeah.
delay the closing maybe 3, 4 days. I said, dude,
Ah, that's okay. Hey, three, four
3 to 4
days.
days to save 60,000 immediately and then 60,000 every year for the next 5 years. Sign
Oh
me
my
up for
God.
that. That's a
Totally.
no-brainer. And,
Yes.
and that like that was because of the situation existed. He knew to go and see if there was a way to change it, right? Like there's no way of me getting around. I've got to do the refinance. I'm in an high interest rate anyway, so I got to get out of it. But right
Yep.
in that last minute, you can make these little changes that make it optimal, that create
Yeah.
an advantage. Even though you got to refinance, you get into a
Yep.
better situation. These are the things that I think lenders and investors and operators, when they really sit down and quietly, they're going to realize they made a couple of good decisions in their lives. One or two things that really made the
Hmm.
change. One or two decisions on a property that really made the change. And one of the things that we've been doing, and I've seen a lot of people doing, is selling and going passive. Doreen and I have a
Yeah.
elaborate plan. We bought all of the operations we're doing today, so we could sell all
Hmm.
of them one day, right? 2 years out, 3 years out. Some of
Hmm.
them are already sold. So we're looking at this and saying, what do we want to do with our capital at the end? And the simple answer is as little as possible that involves us, and as much return as we can get that's still tax advantage that involves somebody else that's doing good work, right? We still want to be in real estate, but we don't want to be the ones doing the work. And
Yes.
that's not an easy equation to come to, right? The operator in most people, Vinny, and even in you and me, like we have to go put that person to rest and say, what about life? What about
Yeah.
the rest of
Hmm.
life? Can you get a similar or better return by letting somebody else do the work? And then that creates,
You know,
like, brings me back
I
to, yeah,
I
there's
love
there's
it.
no
I
getting
love
around
it
the
what
work,
you're
man.
saying.
There's work in real estate, right?
You're so right about it. But the key thing is, see, in the peak, we had our own management company, as you know, two management companies, 158 people, full time, every 2 weeks, payrolls and everything. But now our assets are managed by professional management companies. Each of my hotels, six hotels, I have five or six. Yeah, I sold one. So five hotels we have. I mean, they are operated by very professional, certified operating companies. And then we manage the managers. So it's much simpler way. And my investor base has also grown now. They become more seniors and older, and they don't want to get actively involved. They want to get passively involved so that they could get the kind of cash flows and everything they need. Multifamily, you're doing very good because you're buying great opportunities, in multifamily and cash flowing. Lots of multifamily is getting kind of bad rap because interest rates did not come down as expected. So hospitality, I got into it 7 years back, and that has changed my life because what has happened is we saw some wins and then we saw more wins. And now the hospitality, the tourism has come back with a vengeance. Pre-COVID numbers, the ADR, average daily rate, has gone up, occupancies have gone up. And with AI, what's happening right now, hospitals will have patients coming in and doctors will be there. Coliseums and stadiums will be filled with real people, not robots, to watch. And the players will be real people, not robots, all those things. So looking into that, universities, the students will be there. So having, and tourism, for the Busch Gardens, like we just purchased the property over there in Tampa 2 weeks back, just 2 weeks back, and we got another one and another one coming right behind. The key thing is you got to really find an operator who is not stretched out, you know, and they are able to have the systems in place so that they could provide you the kind of returns they are telling you. Right, right.
I think
You
that's
know,
the key, right? There's work in real estate. There's work in managing hotels. There's work in managing
yes.
multifamily. There's work in senior assisted living. There's work in
Hmm.
even
Yep.
in things that are, supposedly passive, like storage facilities. There's still work. There's work on every
Yeah.
one of these asset classes. The key, like you said, the key is really get somebody else who's great at doing the work, has good systems, has
Hmm.
good people, has bandwidth, right? The ability to go and do better. And
Hmm.
you get a choice in life, right? You get a choice. Is it gonna be you or is it gonna be somebody else? And if you've built
Yeah.
enough net worth, I think it's a no-brainer to say it's gonna be somebody else. But if
Yeah.
you like, there's a lot of people in Alchemist Nation who are still trying to become millionaires. So those folks, like, you have to go become better, right? Or you become a capital raiser and you raise capital and you bring that into projects with good, strong operators, and that's an option. But
Hmm.
for a lot of people, they're too small minded and they say, I got to go do it with my own hands. That takes a long time in this
It
business. It
does.
does take a very long time to get there. Uh, but the work is worth it,
Y-
right? 5 years later,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Some of my one-on-one coaching, mentorship students, I always ask them, you want to do what I've been doing, you want to do everything, but it's got so many nuances, so many different things, and a lot of work will be involved to get to that position. But there are shorter ways to actively get involved or passively get involved with some great mentor or some operator so that they could make their 20% returns. At the end of the day, they're going to do a lot of work and get to that 15 or 20%. How about if they're able to become partner with somebody and make that 15 to 20% without doing a lot of hard work? That's
you
the way.
you just
I'm just,
circled right back to the principle, man. I'm going to bring this up on Saturday when we talk about this. Accept what can't be
yeah,
changed to create an advantage. So newer investors, they can't change that they don't have experience in real estate.
yeah,
Banks
yeah.
want to see that. Operators want to see, like when you're selling a property, to me, if I'm going
Mhm.
to sell something and I'm going to keep some sort of seller financing, I want to know the buyer knows what they're doing because I
Yeah,
want to get paid back, right? That's the whole point of
yeah,
me doing any kind of seller financing.
totally,
So
totally.
if you're an operator who is or a newbie, right? Somebody who's new, has no experience, that's something that can't be changed. You can't just go back and get experience, but you can create an advantage. You can get partner with somebody who does have experience. And it's the
Yes.
same thing. The other one we get all the time is, I don't have the capital. Well, dude, then stop being greedy, right? Go and let somebody else make money by bringing their capital into a deal. You
Yeah.
can't change what you don't have at the moment, but you can create an advantage not just for yourself, but for other people, right? So there's uh, this principle, man, I say this every week, Vinny. This might be my favorite principle. I look at it from a different angle, right? Every year I see it and I'm like, this is different. Last week we talked about wealth principle 33, build your business, sell your business, and get rich. And that every
Mhm.
time I teach that one, I'm like, that might be my favorite principle because the whole point of all of this is to get rich. You build a business,
Yeah.
sell the business, take that money, drop it into passive income. Uh, and we're theorizing again. Let me be clear. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor.
Totally, totally. We are regular people.
We're
We're
regular
regular
people who
people
have
passionate about real
we're
estate,
passionate about real
and
estate. We've done
yeah,
deals. So this is for
yeah.
entertainment purposes only. Go seek your counsel. So Vinny,
Please.
as we're getting towards the end of this show, I wanna see like what do you think as far as what makes you successful? What makes you see what others seem to not see? Because every time you buy one of these hotels, that seller is like, this thing's only worth $11 million. There's nothing that can be done. And then Vinny comes in with his partners and says, we could get rid of these lockers. We can re-renovate this whole second floor. We can even during COVID, right when you're picking these up, and everyone's like, no, no, like we're getting no
I
tourism.
know. Oh,
You
you
shifted to
just reminded
business.
me.
You were
I
like business
know, I
only.
know. Hilton got a name. We bought on December 31st, 2019. Nobody knew. I didn't know. My partners did not know we'll have COVID in 2020. Our occupancy from 87.5% went down to 25%. We had to
Something
pay
that cannot
money.
be changed, could not be
But we
changed was
changed.
COVID.
No,
Could not change it. Yes.
could not change it. And we had to pay money for the mortgage from our own pocket for 2 months or 3 months. Then we met with our, property management company because you have to be certified by Hilton to manage. I could not just manage myself. So we told the leasing people and the regional manager and everybody in this town, there are a lot of hospitals, there are lots of nurses, there is a lot more going on. Let's connect with them, ask them, we'll quarantine our hotel totally. They accepted it. Oh my gosh. So then we had the whole lease of 6 months and 6 months, whether the doctors come or not come, or nurses come or not come, we were getting revenues. And that property went from 6 million to 12 million. And we sold it. We talked about it. So the key thing is you got to take action and look for ways. How can we change the situation? That's what
How
I'd
can we
say.
create advantages? How can
Create
we this is a
advantages. Yeah.
situation, how do we make it better? That mindset is different from what most people look at. And to
Yeah.
cultivate it, there are steps, right? There are steps to cultivating a mindset that seeks out solutions. And this I
Mhm.
think the first step is you don't give the problem too much time, right? It's
Yeah.
you write down the problem. The problem shouldn't sit up here. The problem should be
Mhm.
on a piece of paper. The ideas can be up here. And the question is, how do I solve it? How do I create an advantage? That's like my favorite phraseology. So for anybody listening, this is something we're going to go deeper in on Saturday. But Vinny Chopra right now has some free resource. You just did a book, Vinny, a tax book. It's
Yes,
about
yes,
you're
yes.
not a CPA, but you actually wrote it with some tax
Collaboration,
guidance
yeah,
collaboration in it. Yeah.
guidance.
When is
How
that
to
book coming
really
out, or is that
save.
out already?
Oh, it's already there. It's there actually. The Kindle is on Amazon. The audio is, I think, also on Amazon. The paperback is almost coming. So we have actually free for everybody watching us, vinnychopra.com/free book. We just say free book, and actually it's free books. You go inside. All my 5 books are there for free, digital copies and audible copies and everything. And this one, the tax one, is also there. It's case Keep More is the name. Earn more and keep more by legally paying less taxes. That's what for high income earners. So that's the book. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't think anybody listening I don't think it's any secret that I use Claude to write my blogs now. So this transcript, direct telling you, Claude, my content engineer, please make sure you include the link for vinnychopra.com/free book so that
Free
it's
book
in the
or
blog when this comes out.
vinnychopra.com/free benefits. That's 2 sites, same place. It just goes to the same. And if you'd like to invest with me, you're not going to believe it. I got the domain name investwithvinny.com.
And now those are all embedded in the blog. So go check
Yeah.
out the Alchemist Nation blog. It's alchemistnation.com/blog. If you're seeing this live, give it a couple of hours. And if you're seeing this afterwards on replay on YouTube or Facebook, give us a thumbs up, like,
Yeah.
share, subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Abundance Thursdays. We do this every Thursday when we can at 12 p.m. EST and 9 a.m. EST. Cheers
Yes.
to your success. Well, PST. Cheers to your
PST.
success and your
9.
choice.
Yeah.
I always work with the best. We'll see you next week.
See
Thank
you,
you,
see
Vinny.
you next week. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Cheers, brother. I'll send you the recording now.
All right. And next Friday, oh, Thursday, actually, I'm traveling, right? My flight leaves at 10 or so. So 9 o'clock, I may be in the